Hello everyone and welcome to Lush and Salty Aquariums. My name is Stefan and thanks for coming to the channel. Once again, we're in front of the Oase Cinescaper. This is the 20-gallon kit that they offer, and I've extolled its virtues numerous times in the past. It's now available in the United States and I really recommend this kit. It's beautiful. It doesn't come with the light. That's a Chihiro's, I believe, RGB Slim, and I have an ADA Superjet filter as opposed to an Oase, which is kind of ironic since I have Oase filters on a number of other tanks. Be that as it may, I wanted to talk to you about a significant rehab I did of this aquascape. The back and the carpet are so lush that I'm constantly trimming it, and I want to keep the carpet. So you see what it looks like now. It's really as much dwarf hair grass as it is Sagittarius, sage, and some mosses and other things. But if you tamp it down and clip it from literally 1 foot away, it just looks like an awesome golf course carpet. And it really shows off those those high fin, long fin albino Coreodora. So that's a cool thing, right? So that hasn't changed. But in the middle here, I literally took that piece of driftwood and flipped it. I turned it around, and now I have a whole other vibe with a lot more air. And I left some of the Hygrophila pinnifida up top, but I pulled a ton of it that was all up and in this piece of wood. I turned it around and I left that part growing up, which I think kind of looks cool and natural with some of its roots there. And I mean, it's gonna take over, no doubt, but for the time being, it gave me some air. It helped me kind of group the Sessiflora plant you see in the back left, that stem. Here's the pogo stem and octopus. Did a lot of trimming of both of those two stems. And here, I just chopped this Rotala H-Rod down to the quick. And I know it's going to grow and grow red and beautiful as it moves its way to the top. I also moved this pothos, which used to be on the side here. I moved the whole thing in the back there, and sooner or later, probably sooner, that plant is going to be in front of this rootstock, which I don't dislike, but it kind of looks a little janky. And what really looks a little janky is the severe cut right there. Like you have like, ooh, lush, boing. What's up? So you can see it purling though. I mean, you see a lot of those bubbles coming up. I didn't do this trim. I did this trim yesterday, so this is like legit purling, not just stuff that happens when you cut the hell out of your tank. You will see air pockets released and things of that nature. That's legit purling. I run CO2 in the back, and I have this beautiful light that I already talked about. So I have no doubt this H-Rod is going to be up to the surface. But for the time being, it gave me an opportunity to let these other two plants maybe spread out, and then I can do some more cultivating of that particular growth, because you can see how dense it is, and where all the stem plant, you know, used to be lush up top. You can see how at the bottom end, like a lot of stem plants, it sort of has that neutered effect. But I want to see what happens with the light and the CO2 and all that real estate. I think it's going to be really interesting. So I also now can see my Anubias petite or Anubias nana. It's probably a bit of both. And the Hydrocolte triple, which I call Japanese clover. My new best friend right now. I've got it in between this dragonstone, which I also just turned around, and so it has this really clean, no algae whatsoever, that red look that you choose that stone for. That had long since been kind of covered by sediment and just the degradation of its color, which is not unhealthy, but it's so much fun to see that super red again, and I'm digging that. So, and now I've also sort of gone back to aquascaping 101, and I've got the inverted hockey stick, if you will, more of a legit slope as opposed to the Wallstead vibe, which was all the heavy stems in the back and then heavy middle plants and then a carpet. Now it's a little bit more of that slope, which obviously I know and you know isn't going to last, but interesting nonetheless. I threw in a few red root floaters. I had kind of committed to not having any topwater plants in this tank because they always got hung up in the tips of the stems back there. The lily pipe would push them and they'd all go in the back, and I don't know, and then they get caught up in the stems of that Cessiflora, and I didn't like that effect. So still, I put in a few in here because the top middle of the tank is empty now, and I want to see if those red root floaters, because there's CO2 and great light in this aquarium, if I'm going to get the telltale, that iconic intense red roots that they're known for. This plant will lose a lot of that red if you don't run CO2 and have good lighting, and sometimes just dumb luck, right? That plant doesn't always show like we want it to, and sometimes it's just heroic how beautiful it can look. I mean, as red as a beautiful sunset, and sometimes not. So we'll see. I've got my crypts now. I clipped a lot of leaves. There's still plenty of them. And now I can see the cryptocorin in the center here, which the Hygrophila pinnifada had totally dominated from this end of the aquarium to that end of the aquarium. And I really couldn't see any of these crypts, and they are very beautiful. There's different kinds in there. There's a fun variegated sort of red purple leafed variety, and then a more classic green. We'll see where that goes. Hey, there's my honey gourami, the alternative to a betta fish, a beautiful, docile, stunning fish, and very inexpensive. I already talked about these Coreodoras. I've got about 20 green neons, which even though I've cut the hell out of this tank, they're still reclusive. Son of a gun. When I picked up the camera, they were more or less in front, but it's disappointing to me how, I mean, they're happy and healthy, they eat and they're fat and happy, but I just don't see them like I want to. I've also got a group of rosy tetras. There's one there. I think they're a little bit shy because of the intense change to their environment. I'm not sure, but I know they're all healthy and they eat well and I feed them well. There you can see an Oase. I've got a group of those, and there's some mystery snails and ram's horn and probably a couple horned nereids in here. By the way, the horned nereid's an interesting choice in lieu of the zebra because they don't lay those damn white eggs that never turn into snails, but on the other hand, they stick to wood and rock and are a bear to get off. So I've been told the horned nereid doesn't do that, and so far that's been my experience. All right, everybody, just wanted to share this, not quite a 2.0, let's call it a 1.2. You know, like when you get your updates on iPhone, it's 1.2, 1.3, 14.6, 14 point, so something like that. But it's a change, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I hope you are too. As always, keep your hands in the tank, and ciao for now.